Hello and welcome to the Political Atheist. I'm your host Socrates X. It's great to be back. I've been AWOL, I understand that, but I've been as busy as a little bee trying to get my stuff together because by what it looks like things are getting worse and worse by the minute. The last time I had a conversation with you guys was almost like close to a year ago, and I will wish once again to apologize for being AWOL, but it is what it is. There's certain things you need to get done, and certain things that have to unfortunately take a backseat, as per se. I've always been the hustler type. You got to do what you got to do, and fuck everything else, as per se. I'm not trying to state, fuck the viewers or the listeners or whatnot, because that's not cool. You guys are the ones who put me in the driver's seat, as per se, and I truly appreciate that. I'm just referring to everything else in life, bills and supervisors and corporate fiends and your mortgage, or you're paying you're living in a mobile home or whatnot. The management team, supermarkets. That's what I'm talking about in general, man. They could go all fuck themselves, so I gotta do my thing. So once again, I would like to thank you very much for allowing me the opportunity to grace your home, to be with you for a couple of minutes, as per se. So, with that stated and out of the way, and all the formalities squashed, let's go on. Let's begin and go on with the show. So, this is a new software I'm using, so I'm going with the flow. So, let me start off with the following article. There I go. And let me introduce the first. It's the only article that I wanted to touch base with you guys. I'm trying to change up the show a little bit. I'm trying to change up the format a little bit because eventually down the road we're gonna shift gears, and I've been pretty much hired to be the official spokesperson for Wowza TV. They are a new entertainment Roku variety TV channel. You can find them at wowzatv.network, and you can find a whole bunch of cool stuff over there. But I am very psyched out that they turn around and knocked on my door and say, hey, despite the fact that I've been AWOL for a year and that I may not be your conventional type of individual, but I told them, hey, I'm willing to accept the challenge, so just bear with me and whatnot. I said, yeah, just be yourself. So this is what I'm trying to do. So with that out of the way and stated, I just wanted to touch base on the fact that we had our elections here in the United States. Now the so-called cabinet picks are going through the pipeline, as per se, and as you could tell, okay, as you could tell by the image on the left, these are the cabinet picks so far that have been chosen by the Trump administration. Now, according to the latest reports, majority of these individuals have not gone through the toss-up period in Congress, all the wishy-washy crap that they like coming out with every 4 years. And as you could tell right there in that in that graphic or image, all I see, and I'm not trying to be racist or anything here, but all I see is only one Latino, one actually, yeah, one Latina. Let me correct that. One black individual, and Marco Rubio. Now, I'm gonna go out on a limb right here with this one, but Marco Rubio, he doesn't count as a Latino. This guy, he's a warmonger, he's a neocon, and I have a strange feeling that the only reason why, if anything, he was able to sail through the nomination process and become this country's Secretary of State is because he must have worked. Trump must have worked out something behind closed doors to say, you know what, if you allow me to do so and so, I'll just go along with the flow and pick out this fucking neocon warmonger idiot Marco Rubio. I'm from Florida and nobody likes this individual. He's a lousy senator. He's always trying to play it off like he Mr. High and Mighty, but this guy, he's a horrible senator. Very horrible. I don't understand how he, what type of. They must have something very nasty on Trump to actually pull the shit out of their ass with Marco Rubio. So anyhow, but that's nevertheless though. But my point is this, and I'm not trying to be petty or anything here, but the reality is this: up to 44% of the Latino population voted for Trump, while you had another 38%. There were Black Americans who also voted for Trump. And once again, I'm not trying to be petty or anything, but the fair representation on that graphic does not do that all that voting justice, okay, as per se. It's like almost similar to I like equaling this to the single fact that, let's say you go out on a date with someone, right? There are certain levels that of anticipation that are widely accepted, right? So you go out, let's say, whether it be a man or a woman or teenager or what, who the fuck is dating who? You go out, you go to a restaurant, and you have a fair expectation of how much money you're gonna spend, what you're gonna get back in exchange, and whatnot. It's a mild science behind this, okay? So you go out with a young girl or a young man or whatnot, and you already have in the back of your mind, well, I'm gonna spend so and so. I may be lucky, I may not. What type of relationship do I want out of how much I'm investing? Meaning, my return of investment, is it going to be worth it with this individual? So the way I look at it, you could apply that same logic when it comes down to politics. Okay, here you are, you have 40, almost close to 50% of the population, as per se, of the United States, or was a borderline minority. And is this the best that Trump and his so-called new administration could cough up? You're not gonna tell me that there's not enough minorities who would love a cushiony job like one of these cabinet picks, okay? These cabinet picks are already pre-selected, okay? It's not as if Trump magically on November 4th after he won that he already had all his cabinet picks set up for the nomination process. That's bullshit. He already had the people he was going to fucking nominate weeks in advance, because this is again just like to the situation that I described with when you're dating, that there's certain expectations involved with the process. Same thing with this. You're not gonna tell me that he didn't know it beforehand who these cabinet, because they all go through a vetting process. It takes a freaking long time for them to go through this shit. So I'm presuming at this particular moment in time that it was probably a toss up of whether or not the both the Latino and the black vote, and to a certain point the Asian vote was gonna vote in a particular manner, swing this way or swing that way. But nevertheless, they should have had the opportunities open to try to sneak in more candidates to recompensate, as per se, the minority vote. A fair assessment. So, these individuals, I don't know whether or not it's a calculated move on their part or whatnot, but it reminds me to a situation I had one time when I was younger. I was working for a particular company, and I noticed that the entire sales force was Caucasian. They were white, and I was living in New York, so you go figure. Majority of the population in New York City was white. So I figured, okay, I'm just gonna go with the flow. So the CEO of the company was there, having, I guess, his monthly powwow or whatnot, and they were discussing different topics and whatnot. And then there was a particular topic that was brought up, and I had the audacity to actually ask the question, sir, with all due respect, but how come you don't have enough minority salesperson here? You're not gonna tell me that you can't find or recruit enough minority salesmen who would love to the opportunity or the chance to earn $65,000-$70,000 a year. And do you know that the answer that he gave me was pretty much right on the money in my train of thought. He had the audacity to state, "No, we have exhausted our methods of recruitment with minority, because we can't find anyone who wants this type of gig." And I'm looking at him and say, "You fucking liar." This guy, he just stood there, CEO, lying through his fucking teeth, telling me and the other gentleman who was working there, who was actually another minority, "No, you guys not good enough for these $65,000-$70,000 salesmen, cushiony salesman positions that we have here." And keep in mind that our position within the company was to train future salesmen and in all the aspects of this particular job that I was doing. But yet, we were not, our population demographic wasn't good enough to be recruited by this particular company. You know what? Years later, this particular company went under. And they had been around for almost 100 years, this company. And they went under. Why? Because the single fact that I'm a true believer in karma, and what comes around goes around, and it was good for them that they went under like that. And I'm not going to hide it. Yeah, I'm glad that they went under, because they're a bunch of bastards. That's as simple as that. So going back to what I was to what I was trying to make a parallel to, these administration officials think the same way. They are under the impression that us minorities, to a certain point, and I'm gonna throw in just the shadow of the doubt. I'm just gonna throw in also poor white trash, okay? Because they also get neglected as well too. Because in this country, there's no such thing as a race issue. It all comes down to fucking class, okay? It's poor versus rich. The middle class has been destroyed. You know that. There's no such thing as the middle class in this country. They've been destroyed. Done, finitos. Okay? You can bust it out doing that, but you're never gonna catch up. There was at one point where you did what you have to do, and you made it okay. But now those sentiments have changed. There's no such a thing once again as the middle class. They are the new Sasquatch, the new Bigfoot, the new Casper the Friendly Ghost. This is just figments in your fucking imagination. Okay? So, going back to these administration officials, they turn around, and I say pretty much they are sticking to what they're stating. They don't want DEIs anymore, and I didn't agree with that shit. But in their minds, they want to get rid of DEI because they want to be able to hire their own people. And when I mean I state their own people, you know what I'm talking about. Okay? Now, keep in mind that the Trump administration announced publicly that they were going to do away with DEI. And they eliminated, I think, 2 or 3 divisions within the federal government itself, I think this past week, as soon as he took office, that this was no longer going to be a factor. Now, keep in mind, as a minority myself, I don't agree with that shit. And I'm not talking about the actual the participation or the process of actually DEI. I don't agree with that. I'm more inclined towards what they came out with, merits and experience for future hiring within the federal government. Right? There've been many occasions where I found myself on the shore and the stick, where there've been people who've been hired due to past DEI policies, where instead of me being hired based upon merit and experience, I was overlooked in favor of these type of individuals. So I know I can relate to the new enacted policies that the Trump administration officials have exercised on. However, if it's the way I look at it, and I've seen a lot of videos out there recently where you got like you got minorities bitching and moaning about so and so and whatnot, and about DEI and all this crap. The point is, when you're hiring based upon merits and experience, you're always gonna wind up with the better hire. There's no ways and no buts, and you could apply that to any fucking occupation. Okay, any type of fucking occupation, whether it be a nurse, a doctor, a fireman. Wouldn't you want, if like in the case out in California, would you want to have a bum of a fireman, a mediocre fireman who don't know what the fuck he's doing, trying to save your house or save you? Of course not. Same thing with a nurse. Wouldn't you want a nurse that know how to to know how to administer those prescription drugs to you, or know that you're coming out with this symptom or that symptom and whatnot? Of course you would. So going back to what I was referring to, if that's the case, that the Trump administration insists that now merit and experience should take hold, be part of the hiring process, why you got all this slew of an ocean of just Shea Whiteys up there? Nothing against you guys, white folks who are listening to me and whatnot. I'm just pinpointing the facts, okay? As minorities, once again, just to throw it out there, we voted in large numbers for this man, and this is the thanks that he's giving us. Two shitty job. Well, Marco Rubio once again doesn't count. And then the Latina that was actually selected here, I think her name is Lori Chavez or something like that, states that, Secretary of Labor. Coincidence? Stereotype? You go figure that she's Mexican. The immigration issue is on her lap because of all the Latino Mexican immigrants that came across the border. That now she most likely is now going to have to work hand and foot with the ICE immigration to get rid of all these people. Calculated move or sinister stereotyping? It's your pick. And then you got this other individual who's going to be Secretary of, I guess, I can't see it well, but the Scott Turner individual. He's going to be the Secretary, I guess, of. Sorry about that. I should have done my. I usually wear glasses and whatnot, and the thing is that I hate them and I can't wear them. I don't want to wear contact lenses and whatnot, but that's besides the point. So going back to what I was referring to, I'm going to show you this next graphic. And according to this is a NBC News article. This is an NBC News article. And according to the NBC article, the Latino support for Trump increased from his 2020 numbers. According to this, after Republican-elect Donald Trump dramatic performance after Republican President-elect Donald Trump's dramatic performance with Latino voters, a coalition of Democratic-leaning Latino groups is grappling with the shift and trying to reconcile it with the policy that they say many Hispanics support. The group just challenged how large Trump's gains were with people of color, particularly among Latino men, but acknowledged that the gains were significant as with the Latino gender divide. So if Trump really wanted to bring about a point, he could have just easily turned around and nominated some more Latinos in there, or minorities, but he didn't. What's the game plan here? Are we to expect that all administrations, whether it be future or present, are going to be engaged in this silly little whack-a-mole game that they like playing with us minorities? You know, allow the minority to cross over and then turn around, and the moment that they're not useful anymore, just turn around and start deporting them, so called. I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a Republican. I'm just an independent voter. And I'm right off the bat, I didn't vote for any one of them. Why? Because I am a political atheist, true at heart. And unless you're gonna do something for me, don't bother turning around and you could be blue in the face promising all this bullshit, but I know better, so I'm not gonna go via that route. So let me see. I had another article here. Let me see if it pops up. Okay, yes. So, according to this article, Trump White House shuts down Spanish language website and social media accounts. So, he did this in his, what a lot of people don't realize is that when he was in office 4 years ago, his office actually deactivated the Spanish language website and social media accounts. As reported by ABC News, the site formerly listed at www.whitehousegov.es for Espanol, I'm presuming, now displays an error 404 message whenever a user tries to access it. So, at the same time, the Spanish language White House X account, La Casa Blanca, was deactivated as well, along with the government website on abortion rights. Other federal agencies, Spanish language sites, including the Department of Labor, Department of Justice, and the Department of Agriculture, were still available as of this moment. So when asked about the deactivations, White House Principal Deputy Press Secretary Harrison Fields stated that the Trump administration is committed to bringing back online the Spanish translation sections of the website. However, the Trump administration used similar language 4 years ago when they deactivated the Spanish language website the first time. And you know that they never turned it back on. So think about that. What does that sound to you? That sounds like they don't give a fuck about the Hispanic vote. They don't give a damn about the Hispanic citizens as long as they serve their purpose of showing up every 4 years like jackasses to vote for these creatures of habit. It's going to be what it is, which is just a sleight of hand. It's like a 3-card Mountie dealer. They'll turn around and sucker you into playing the game and then it lets you win, and then the moment you feel confident and cocky, he'll distract you with something else, whether it be some pair of titties or some guy trying to rip off another guy, or create some diversion so he could turn around, mess around with the cards, and rip you off. That's the same thing that our government engages in this style of 3-card Monty, so they can turn around, you make you believe that you're winning, and then fuck you over with some type of distraction. Which basically, do I dare say, wink wink, Trump so-called assassination attempts? Not a conspiracy theorist, but if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, and sounds like a duck, it's a duck. So with that stated, I'm just gonna leave it there. So with that stated and out of the way, I would like to, I guess I have one last detail here, I believe. Nope. Oh, I thought I did. Oh. So, Okay, sorry about that. So with that stated, I need to sneak into. I gotta sneak in our sponsor. The sponsor is wazahosting.com, and if you're interested in a Roku TV channel like this one, head on over to wazahosting.com, and when you purchase, I believe on eBay, one of their listings, you could receive one free month of hosting with this. That graphic is wrong, folks. It's actually receive one free month of hosting with the listings that they have available on eBay. So I'm gonna have to tell these guys to correct that. But yeah, it's a good deal if you want to really sink your feet into having your own Roku TV channel like this one. So just give them a try. Once again, wazahosting.com today. Thank you very much for the attention for the opportunity for allowing me to enter your home, even if it's for a few minutes. Actually, 31 minutes. I wasn't expecting the show to go on so long, but thank you very much. I was your host, Socrates X. The name of the show was The Political Atheist Show. Find us on wazatv.network today, and we hope to be bringing you some more shows soon. I'm hoping to have a show once a week, because we're so preoccupied with a whole bunch of other stuff that we're working on, that this is the only time that I've been able to find to create the show. So thank you very much, folks, and with that stated, have a good night, and I'll see you when I see you later.